welcome everybody to RPG Renegades, and we're playing the fantastic game City of Mist. We are now on episode 6, where our characters have just had a supernatural encounter in the auction house. Two creatures emerged out of the darkness. Vinzer managed to escape out of the warehouse from one of them, and amazingly, Jasper, our forgotten god mythos guy, managed to manifest light and strange glory from his eyes and mouth, and destroyed those creatures, kind of nightmarish creatures. We're left with the auctioneer crumpled on the floor, possibly badly wounded, possibly dead. There's chaos, there's pandemonium, there was fear. Our team don't know if anybody saw the creatures, because normally that doesn't happen. Normally people can explain things away, but there's certainly a lot of confusion. And here we are. Welcome to the auction house and hopefully beyond. Right, guys, so those creatures, that thing with the light in your eyes and your mouth, kind of gave me a wee flashback to Big Trouble in Little China. I'm sure there's a scene where one of the kind of martial art guys has light and all that flying out his eyes and mouth.
It's low pan does it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I think it comes out of his mouth as well.
Yeah. So the creatures, what was left of the creatures, kind of burned up and kind of disintegrated and, kind of disappeared, really. So there's nothing left of them. You have a body crumpled at the front, and you've got people milling about trying to get out, and etc. Yep, that's it.
Can you, Raj, was that as terrifying as it sounds to see? Like I'm looking over my shoulder and seeing you next to me doing this light, and
I think it probably was. Obviously, you've got to bear in mind that I couldn't see it.
Yeah, right.
I just kind of zoned out and everything got very bright.
It wasn't necessarily like a holy angelic sort of light beaming. It was like a laser beams almost. Is that kind of?
It was quite raw. It felt raw to me.
Okay, gotcha. I just was. And when you get a chance, Ken, I have a question about one of the characters from the auction. So whenever you get a chance on it.
Sure. Yeah. So let's just have a wee talk, the three of you. What do you think immediately you would like to do? And if that involves some of those characters, that's fine, Jef. You can say that too. But we did just a little reminder. I've just remembered that the old chap with the curly moustache, he pushed his little friend out. They were both quite small guys. Pushed his little pal out, and it was actually his friend that bidded on behalf of the City Museum for the mask and the statues. But he pushed him out, and Raj, I think it was really you that saw that he turned round and he pointed right directly at the mask, because remember the mask was glowing, and that kind of kicked off the whole series of events that led to you blasting it with this light power. That he clearly saw that the mask was, illuminated, or something was happening. So that certainly somebody saw something, but they're kind of heading out the doorway as we speak.
I think that was my main question. I wasn't clear on when he saw the mask glowing and he pointed at it. He was pretty much like running in fear or whatever. Like he was trying to get away, right? I wasn't sure if he was running towards the mask.
Oh no. He shouted out the object of power and was pushing his friend out as if he was trying to get his friend out of danger.
Okay, gotcha. Thanks. And Vinzer kind of just appeared out of the doors coming into the auction house again, right? Like he was back doing whatever he was doing in
he walked through the shadows. So I don't know, did you just come out of the shadows, Vinzer?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I missed that, and because when I came out of the shadows, everything was going crazy.
Yeah.
Like there was like the big commotion with the people at the auction and everything, and so I don't think Vinzer had actually seen any of that stuff.
Well, you might not have seen the light and this maybe the creatures. No, you did. I think you probably did see the creatures being dispatched, because I think you came into the room, and at that point, I think it was yourself that saw the second creature.
Mm.
I think it scurried across the back of the wall.
The things that were climbing up the
yeah,
wall. Oh yeah, okay, I did see those.
Yeah,
but I don't recall if Vinzer saw the beams coming out of his eyes and everything. I don't think I saw that.
Well, you did if you want to, because you're a mythic kind of guy.
I mean, I'm totally fine with that. Like, I'm totally fine with like just having stumbled out of the shadows again, because
I'm going to give you a status blinded. You come out of the darkness and
so yeah, I would say that that Vinzer didn't see that.
Okay.
So he's like, this is like everything happening is just him now trying to play catch up with what he missed.
Could we maybe say that what you did see was a lump or two of the creatures burning up and fizzling away? Maybe you just saw that they were somehow they'd been strangely dispatched.
I could see him like coming out of the shadows, like almost like through that little like corridor he sees when he goes to enter the shadows, and like he like as he's stumbling out, he turns back and he's like taking a couple steps back, and he ends up stepping in one of them.
Lovely. I'll say actually that because you've literally just momentarily come out of the shadow realm, I don't know what we call it. I'm calling it shadow realm. Is that all right? You know, sure. We're coming out of that place. You can smell something not only as you come into the room from the burning of the creature, but it's almost like you can smell it on the other side. You know, it's not very pleasant.
Just the burning carcass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's disintegrated now and kind of drifted off. So there's people, you know, everybody's confused. There's still a lot of people in the room, but they're all now, it's like you guys are at the front of the room and the two statues are still there, the mask's still there, and everybody's in the kind of last third of the room, kind of on their way out, and there's women distressed, you know, there's a lot of wealthy people and posh people and things like that, and you don't know what's going on really with them and what, as I said, what they've saw or not seen. But yeah, but there's quite a few distressed people, and they all seem to believe in it. There's a couple of attendants maybe running about now, you know, the auction guys, trying to make sure everybody's safe and nobody's going to fall over and have an accident. And you see maybe one guy run in one of the side doors, and he looks and he sees the auction pieces, like nobody's really looking after them, you know, very, very expensive stuff. And he's maybe trying to decide, should I move this? But he can't move it on his own. And then he sees the auctioneer on the floor, and he looks over to the crowd. He's just confused, and he maybe starts to approach the auctioneer, but he looks a bit nervous because he doesn't know what's happened.
I think I'll use that to jump in for my character then, because I think Sam is his priority right now is the focus on the auctioneer.
Mm-hmm.
So he wants to find out what his status is. So he's going to kind of rush to the front to check on him. And at the same time, I've read about this. So rather than say, someone call 911, it's always best to directly assign somebody. So when Sam sees that auctioneer helper or whatever, kind of looking confused, like I'm going to point to him and say, you call 911, and then continue on and check on the auctioneer's, you know, is he hurt badly or?
Okay. As a matter of interest, I'm not asking you to roll, but as a matter of interest, have you got tags that relate to that kind of people management or leadership or something? I've just got a vague recollection of some kind of people-related skills.
I do, but nothing. It's more charisma type things like charming.
Yep.
Ability to chat. I do have protect vulnerable. Maybe that.
Okay, that's fine. Just in case it comes up, I remember there was something along that line. But the guy kind of almost looks relieved. Somebody's telling him what to do, and he actually picks up a walkie-talkie off his belt, and he's moving back towards the door to go into the kind of side area, where the display cabinets were and that. And he actually gets onto a walkie-talkie and says, "Somebody call 911. Alexander's been hurt. He's lying at the front of the, and you hear the kind of conversation go on, and he's actually getting, so he's still around, not far away if you need him, and you go over and check the body then, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, just because he kind of crumpled, I think, in front of me, right?
Yeah.
So I'm going to be cautious not to move him too much, but try to see, is he conscious? Is he bleeding? Or
Yeah. But just before we get to that, Raj and Vinzer, is there anything you want to do while Sam's doing this?
I think I was moving towards the mask.
Okay.
With the intention of just sort of gently touching it.
Okay.
I can't control my my mind's gone blank.
Fascination?
Fascination or curiosity was the word.
Yes.
I can't control my curiosity, and frankly, I want to know what would happen.
Oh boy.
Oh, if you were a cat, it might kill you, but you're not a cat, so okay.
What if I was? I can't remember the guy's name. I could have been really funny there and said, "What if I was Ben Le, whatever his name was, who was the guy from Curiosity Killed the Cat?"
Oh, right, okay.
But no, I can't remember his name. But it doesn't matter because no one can remember his name. If you're watching, Ben, no one can remember your name.
If you're watching, Ben, please like and subscribe to the channel.
I'm sure he'll be a big supporter now.
We just lost our biggest fan.
Vinzer, is there anything you want to do?
I don't think anything in particular. I think after coming out of there, just a little bit disoriented, coming down off the panic. I think just kind of looking around and seeing what's going on. Like I see Jef Wilkins. Holy crap! I forgot. I blanked on your character's name.
Sam.
Sam. Jeez. I was gonna call you Frank. That was from another game, though, right?
Yeah. I think
okay.
So.
Yeah.
I see Sam like rushing over and checking on a body, saying to call 911. And I look over again and I see Raj just kind of like doing his slow walk over to the mask, and I don't know. I think if I like looking around, if I see anybody else nearby who looks like they could use some help, I'm like trying to help somebody up or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think there's anything directly that has caught me yet.
Okay. So, Sam, as you approach the guy who you now know his name's Alexander, as you approach the guy lying on the floor, he is really kind of crumpled up. You maybe hear a very, very low sounding groan. And as you see him, he's kind of face down really, but you can see his shoulder. He's got a kind of suit jacket on. On this side, there's a large puncture hole through the suit, and on that side, there's two. Because when this creature landed, it had these long fingers that landed, and the fingers seemed to either purposely or accidentally, you don't know, but sink in. And you can see there's some red gore underneath it. The suit's getting wet there. You see that the way he's lying, it looks like he's got some bones broken. Maybe his back, maybe ribs. He doesn't look like he's lying in a particularly good way. There's no, there is blood in his shirt. You see that it's kind of gradually. It's almost like, you ever seen a puncture wound, or maybe had one, where it goes in so deep, but it doesn't gush with blood. You know, it's just the kind of force of the puncture wound. So he's got about 3 puncture wounds in his shoulder, and it looks like either his back or ribs or something is maybe broken.
Okay.
He's semi-conscious, I would say.
So it sounds pretty serious to look at. So I'm certainly not a professional at any of that. So I'm just going to try to careful not to move him too much, but just try to make him comfortable. Like maybe put a jacket under his head or something. Yeah,
I mean, when he moves slightly, he kind of groans, and when you're maybe trying to communicate with him a bit, he's responding, but it doesn't look that great, you know? Yeah. So he definitely needs paramedics, unless you've got the gift of healing or something like that.
No.
Okay, guys, anything else you want to do?
I haven't seen any more of those creatures, right?
No.
Okay.
We'll say that the crowd has almost cleared the room. There's maybe just about 5 or 6 or 7 kind of getting out into. So if you imagine the auction room, it's a big kind of high ceiling area. There was an entryway when you came in when you had a drink, and then next to that, the room beyond that, kind of open doors at the side of the building, was where all the display cabinets are. So these people are actually going out just now into like the big foyer area, quite a large area at the front of the auction house, where you guys were served drinks. You think you've maybe not seen a situation quite like this before. Normally when people, if there's an accident, it's maybe been like a car crash or a something along that line, you know, and there's maybe been, you have used your powers in the past to do certain things, but you've probably never seen such an impact on a crowd, you know, like this, when there was a kind of supernatural or superpowered experience. So it's almost as if, whether the crowd know or not, you don't know, but it's almost like there's an element of trauma or confusion that's been left like behind with them. It was just as well the auction finished.
I have two I'm split. My focus is split. I'm seeing Raj.
Oh yeah.
About to reach out and touch that.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm worried, and I'm about to say, Raj, what are you doing? And my other simultaneous thought is, I don't know if this is retroactive or not, but I probably can't do this, but I'm just curious, did anybody stand out, or is anybody like currently now, like if everybody's pretty much fleeing in panic, if I look around right now, is there anybody who's like doesn't seem panicked? Like is calm, cool, collected? Maybe they were behind this, maybe they were.
I'll say, you know, in the last, because everybody's almost out of the room, but I'll say that in the last remaining group, you see the little Japanese guy, the old gentleman, and he had 2 younger guys with him as well, kind of sidekicks or whatever, maybe staff, you don't know, and they're with him, and you see him looking, and he's looking directly at Vinzer with a kind of quizzical look on his face, stroke, almost like a little half smile of amusement.
Mm-hmm.
And he's kind of slow moving because he's a little bit bent over, the guy. You reckon he's late 80s anyway, you know? But so he's probably one of the last to get out. But it's as if he's checking Vinzer out, but not in a bad way.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So Raj,
Yes.
you go over to the mask, and what do you do? Do you put your hands on the mask? Do you?
I just with my right hand, just very, very gently, just sort of touch it. I'm not trying to grasp it or anything else. I'm, just in case the security staff were looking at me.
Yeah.
But by standing in front of it, I had these flashes of things. So I'm just thinking, I wonder what will happen if I just touch it.
Okay.
This is probably not a good idea.
Famous last words.
So I'll touch it, and then I'll start rolling up my new character for next week.
So I'll say that Sam, you're looking over, and the kind of young dude with the walkie-talkie is standing. He's kind of watching. He's not rushing towards him or anything like that, but you can see he's kind of wondering why. Considering everything else that's just happened, it's like you're the only three guys that are really kind of hanging about, although it's clear that you're trying to help the auctioneer. But he's kind of maybe like, what is this guy doing? He's like, everybody else is gone and he's gone. Anyway, so he's kind of watching, and as you reach out and touch that mask, immediately, Raj, you feel something coursing up your hand, through your arm, and down through your whole body like electricity. And all of the auction room disappears. And you're standing in a stone structure. There's this big round kind of sandstone floor, and there's pillars either side of you, and there are lots of these women and men in robes, just like a plain kind of white or cream kind of robe, loose robe, and there's dozens of them, hundreds of them, eventually filling out, and that sand is blowing up in the wind again. It takes you right, it's like that experience that you had, that kind of brief vision, and you realise that as you look out to the crowd, that you can't see clearly because in front of your face is the inside of a mask. And the eye holes, obviously you're looking out the eye holes. And then you go through this exactly the same vision you had before, where the people are looking up, and you hear a kind of a rising sound from the crowd, and they're, whoa, kind of vocally, and their eyes are opening up wider and wider, and you feel like something is pouring out of you into them. And immediately you have a thought that every time somebody is around you and they lose things or they've forgotten things, or, you have this ability to open up their consciousness that enables them to find something that's important to them. And so in this ancient scene, it is literally as if you're not in the auction room, because you're not in the auction room, you're somewhere else. And so Sam and Vinzer, as you saw him touch the mask, he just like, gone. He's not in the room. And you can smell, Raj, you can smell incense burning, and it's as if you're pouring out your ability to allow people's consciousness or minds to be fully aware. And then you feel a burning in your hand in this desert scene, and you see like an aura of light around your hand, and you know that if you just kind of reach out, something might happen.
I shall follow my instincts and reach out.
As you reach out, you feel something physical in that light kind of haze, and you're back in the room. And then you see him reappear and about 15 minutes has gone by for you guys, but for Raj it was like 3 minutes, 4 minutes.
Oh, I'm just going to stand there in front of the mask for a moment, just sort of looking at my hand.
Now, I need to ask you a question just now, and you need to maybe have a look at your character sheet, Raj. So, what are the questions on your mythos that relate to your powers that you have? You should have some kind of question or statement.
Who am I? Which relates to the Forgotten God. And with all the teleportation stuff, it is, what the fuck?
That's some interesting questions. So, the who am I?
Could be told. Could be said to be the latter. Could be said to be the defining question of our age. What? What?
I want you to look at your logos tags just now. Tell me what they are.
Which ones are they again?
The just like the natural skills. I think you've only got.
Oh right, here we are. They are routine and defining event. My routine is that I'm a taxi driver, and my defining event is the accident.
You feel like, I'm going to say this, we're not going to do it mechanically in the game, okay? Because I'd rather look that up and maybe do that next session. But you feel like you have literally just had a life-changing experience, and you are beginning to understand who you are. Okay, so potentially what can happen is that your mythic nature becomes more dominant, and it can burn off some of your natural, which then puts you in a slightly precarious position where you're on the verge of becoming less human, if you know what I mean, and more.
No, I don't want to go all Dark Phoenix.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm gonna bump that to another episode if that's okay. So
okay. Well, in that case, I'm just going to stand there in front of this thing just for the intervening period until I do anything else.
Yes.
Until you come back to me, I'm just going to stand there, sort of looking a bit shell shocked, and looking at my hand, and looking at the mask, and looking around at the other two, and back at the mask.
When you look at your hand is still glowing, by the way.
Oh.
But you don't think the other guys can see it because nobody's noticed it. No, nobody's going, oh, look at Raj, he's glowing again. He's up to his tricks again, But you can see a glow.
Classic Raj.
So you know that there is literally power, and still emanating.
Is the mask doing anything other than just sitting there?
No, I think it looks very normal.
Okay. I'm just going to stand there for a bit, looking sort of confused and shell-shocked, I think. That'll be an exciting bit of role-playing to do.
Okay, so you can perhaps hear the sound of sirens from a distance, as an ambulance, an emergency. I'm not 100% sure for Vinzer, has he got 3 attentions yet? I think you might have. It means that you can upgrade an ability or power or add one.
For me, I've only received 2 attentions.
Right, okay. I think Jef thought you maybe already had 3.
And they're on 2 separate abilities. Does that matter?
Yeah, it would be. Okay. Yeah, you would need 3 on a particular theme.
On the same one, right?
Yeah.
I've got an attention on the Umber Kinesis. I have an attention on one with the shadows, and I also have a crack on one with the shadows, or a fade. Excuse me.
Yeah. Okay, so shall we just fast forward a little bit then?
Can I just? I'm picturing the guy that had the walkie-talkie that was like little bit confused. I'm picturing maybe he's like a younger security guard almost, and I'm just picturing him like, sir, please don't touch the merchandise.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So as Raj stands, you know, and it was funny because you watched it, Sam, from where you were, that when he was touching that and he disappeared, that guy seemed to be on the walkie-talkie and talking to another staff member. And the whole time he was gone, because it was like 15 minutes for you guys, the whole time he was gone, he had his back turned, he was looking the other way, and when he reappeared again, he turned back and he was like, hey, don't touch your merchandise, you know? So the ambulance arrives and the paramedics come in and they were like, hell, you know, what happened to him, you know, and they see the wounds, and I guess you maybe just explain a little bit, etc. And they're very careful with the way they move him. They ask you, Sam, how did it happen? What happened to him? Puts the wounds on his shoulder, and they're starting to kind of cut his jacket away and things.
Oh man.
You could always say you shot him with arrows, but
I'm gonna play stupid, not difficult, and then just say, I think he must have been shot, because in my head I'm picturing like the finger punctures might look like a bullet wound.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just gonna play that up like I didn't really see what happened, but I thought I heard a gunshot, and I think he got shot.
The paramedics are going to... Did somebody call the police?
Yeah, 911. Yeah, I told the...
Okay, well, they should be along anytime. Thanks, buddy. So as the last of the crowd went out, that little Japanese guy took another look at Vinzer and kind of did a wee nod, and away they went, and they went out into the foyer. So you guys, you just want to head out now, or is there anything you want to steal, any antiques or anything along that line?
I'm going to point out to Vinzer that the older Asian guy took particular notice of him. So I'm going to, I'll leave that in Vinzer's lap as to whether or not he wants to react in any way.
Sorry, I'm seeing somebody.
Okay. So did you head out or what?
And he said, so you end up telling me that this guy's looking at me like how? Like, do you think he's like us? Do you think he saw me?
It seemed to be like when we see people react to our powers who are not, I forget the term, awake.
Yeah. To
the mist. There's always that level of confusion and glossiness, like they don't understand what they're looking at. And I'll just say to Vinzer that's what, when this guy looked at you, I got the impression that he saw you come out of your shadow realms.
And so far, only you and Raj have. Is he the Asian guy still standing over there, or he?
They're all out of the room now because it's a good few minutes later. So everybody's went out. You don't know unless you go out. He's might be in the foyer, or he did bid for some items though. He bid for the young guys did on his behalf bid for the jade knife and the little elder figure.
And I'm assuming then through auction process that they've probably tagged the items with the customer information.
Mm-hmm. Can
I go wander over to you said the dagger for sure. Let me take a look at the dagger.
Well, I don't think they would be put back in display. I think they would be getting prepared for dispatch probably. So it would maybe be back in the warehouse or something like that. I don't really know how auctions work, but I'm guessing they don't, You could always go back into the warehouse where you saw that creature if you want.
Yeah. So I'll since Sam's the one giving me the heads up about this tale, I'll just be like, so I want to go take a look to see if I can get some information on this guy.
Okay.
But I think we'll have to check the warehouse, but I don't know if maybe that thing might be in there. You know that thing, the thing I was telling you about, the thing that kind of freaked me out, the thing I saw, the thing back at the docks.
Was that the same thing we just saw on the stage? And I'll explain the. I think they were smaller, right? The ones that we saw were.
One was.
Like that, but like way bigger.
Oh. So there's lots of these things. Oh boy.
I mean, I've only seen a handful of them, namely 2, but one was like big. And like how you can see, like my face is typically just like the shadow, just a black with just the white eyes, and you see his white eyes get like really wide, like big.
Around now, a couple of police officers come into the room and they go and talk to the paramedics and that, and a kind of manager type comes in and says, "Can I ask you to leave the auction space? The police are going to come in and investigate."
Yep.
So they can usher you out.
I'll then go over to Raj and see if I can snap him out of it. And Raj, you all right?
Yeah. I'm fine. I was just Yeah, I'm fine. Let's go. Yeah.
So you go out to the entryway, is that where you're heading? Or you want to sneak back in the back of the building, Vinzer, or what?
Yeah, I'll be like, yeah, absolutely, officer. I just need to go grab my coat. Actually, okay. I think all 3 of us need to grab our coats. We all brought coats tonight. I know it's like 80 degrees outside, but like.
Where are your coats in the warehouse?
That's where the guy told us to leave it. We came in the wrong door. He said he'd handle it, but you know.
Okay, I'm gonna sort it for you. When the police says no, I'm sorry, we're going to need to investigate just now. Can I ask you to leave the front entry? We can just speak to the person at reception, and if you need any coats or items picked up for you, we'll sort that out for you.
You know what? That's why you wear the badge, officer. Thank you.
Good. So out you go. You go out the double doors that everybody else went out, and there's still a lot of people milling about. There's a woman, an older lady, quite posh looking, and her husband. She looks particularly distressed. And I'll just say this, Raj, as you walk past her, and just with the bodies in the area, you kind of accidentally bump into her, and you put your hand out to kind of, apologize, and your hand touches her shoulder, and you see that little aura lessen, and suddenly you see her overwhelmed with like peace.
Ooh.
And you move on, and it's like she just, after being she's really agitated, and she's got the hanky out, and she, I don't know what's happening, and all that, and she, like, a sense of calm comes over her, and the husband obviously thinks it's him going, now dear, it's all right, now it's okay. And she suddenly, you can see, her shoulders are kind of up and tense, and they kind of relax.
Did I just do that?
And you go by. And so the 3 of you kind of go into that foyer area. There's, you see the little moustachy gentleman and the other guy. They're standing out on the steps outside the building. And as you're walking about, maybe Vinzer, I'm guessing you're kind of having a look to see if that little guy's kicking about, the Japanese chap, and you're looking for him or his sidekicks. You don't seem to see him, and then you suddenly sense a presence, if you like, next to you, and you look round and here's this guy's like he's this height, right, to you. He's looking up at you with his kind of wispy beard. And you're amazed at how he's just kind of totally taken you by surprise. The guy that walks in the shadows and all that, and here's an old geezer.
Just kind of feel him breathing next to me. I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah, that kind of.
Where'd you come from?
That kind of thing, exactly.
Psst, Sam. Is this the guy? This one.
He kind of laughs. He kind of has a little laugh, and he says, "I'm very sorry for frightening you." He says, "You appear to be having some trouble today, no?"
Yeah. I mean, things have been better, but I mean, you're not gonna try and sell me on some snake oil like male supplement or something like that, right? Like, I mean, I'm good. Like,
I have not seen a young shinobi like you in a long, long time.
Shinobi, really?
Oh, sorry. My apologies. Shadow Walker.
Wait, so you can see that?
Aha. Yes. I saw you leave. I was very surprised. And I saw you come back too.
Is that how you got here? Like right here, like next to me?
He bursts out laughing. No. I walked up behind you, silly man. But I have my own skill. When I was young, I used to be like you. In my young days. Things have changed now. But I too was a shinobi. I was sorry, my apologies, a shadow walker. He has a real cheeky demeanor, despite his age, and he's got that kind of wisdom vibe, but he's got a real cheeky demeanor about him in a good way. Which house trained you, young man?
See, like, I'm flattered that you think I'm a ninja and all, but I don't know anything about any houses. Like, I don't know any of that stuff. Like, I don't know comics and video games.
You have never been trained?
I don't know anybody else who can do what I can do.
That is remarkable.
Wait, so you're serious? You're saying other people are like me?
There are not many left. I only know one other. I was one of the last. And the people I train and teach today, they do not do what we can do. It's strange days indeed when a man outside of the clans can find ways to walk in the shadows. Things are changing. Things are very different now. Perhaps you should visit us soon, and I will tell you some of my tales. And he motions over to one of the young guys, and the young guy comes over and bows, and he knows immediately what he's telling him to do without the old guy needing to say anything. And he gives you a card out, and it's got his name on it. He's called Hiroaki Samura, and he's some kind of sensei teacher, but he's clearly aware of what you can do and potentially how you can do it. He said, were you able to, well, I saw your friends were able to deal with the other things that came from the shadows, yes?
It seems that way. I don't know how to deal with my particular issue.
That is very dark magic. Very dark magic.
Oh, I get it, because shadows.
No. The thing that brings these things from the shadow realms is most evil. There must be something calling them through. Perhaps you are the one to find it. There are things that live between the cracks and spaces of this world, and you must find them before they find you. Young shinobi.
Pretty sure I've already been found.
Oh. Did they see you?
They as in something? Yeah.
Well, you must go to the tiger's cave, because if you do not go to the tiger's cave, you will not be able to find its cub.
Not quite picking up what you're putting down there, bud.
We have a saying, evil cause, evil effect. You must go to the source to destroy the effect.
In a tiger's cave.
No, it is one of our sayings. You Americans, you do not have any good sayings. The place of danger, the place of the source, is where you must. Very dangerous.
And you say your name was, he's looking at the card.
Hiroaki.
Hiroaki, okay. Well, if I am in the need to train in the ninja arts, I'll be sure to look you up.
You must come and see me sometime. Goodbye now. Goodbye.
Better get the tea boiling. I'll swing by at some point.
Very good. And away he goes, and he talks to these guys, and they go, and it looks like they're going to some kind of area where they can collect their goods.
Sam, I don't even like tea. Why did I say that? And he just pockets the card. Before he does that, he takes out a pen, and he just writes down ninja trainer on it, and he puts it in his pocket.
It actually says sensei and philosopher on his card. Okay. Anything you guys, other guys, I want to do while you're here?
I'm just worried Vinzer now thinks he's a ninja.
Do you actually say that?
Yeah, I think so. Little razzle.
Sam, I have never once thought, ever, that I would be a ninja. But you have to admit, I would be the coolest ninja.
I will admit that.
I mean, I don't know if I necessarily believe anything that guy says, though.
But there was a film, American Ninja. I don't think he was particularly cool, but
no, I remember that movie. That was terrible.
If you're an American ninja, does that mean you've got to go out and buy a trench coat and a fedora now? Get over to Walmart and buy your
No, he was like milk toast, white bread dude who he was all in the ninja gi, and he went around and he was taking out, man, if I remember the
You're
premise.
a good ninja, you've got to wear white.
with a red headband.
With the red headband. For some reason, I think I'm thinking of the same movie, but for some reason I remember blow darts being a big part of that movie.
I think there was about 3 of them actually.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think you should forget all that ninja stuff. What you need to do is find yourself an elderly Korean man who can teach you real martial arts. That way you can learn how to run on water and everything.
Do you know anybody like that, Raj?
Well, funnily enough, no.
That is funny.
I'm just telling you what some of the other drivers said.
Okay, guys, anything else you want to do while you're in this location, or shall we? Or is it time for a drink? I think Sam's maybe gasping for a good. What does Sam drink? Is it beer? Is it whiskey? What's his poison?
It's a good question, because my weakness is that I might fall off the wagon. So I'm borderline recovering alcoholic. So
that's all right. I'll keep you on the straight and narrow. You can join me in a bracing cranberry juice. It's good. It's good for the bladder. Stops you getting cystitis.
I remember my customers' drinks. Last time it was apple juice.
Well, I'm nothing if not unpredictable.
He's got a point.
Tequila and lemonade.
Yeah, I'll have one of those without the tequila. Tequila and lemonade.
A virgin tequila and lemonade.
Yeah.
So just lemonade.
Yeah.
On the rocks.
Perhaps a Coca-Cola, drink of the Free West.
Okay, guys, so what's up next? You want to go and chill out? You want to go to a bar? Do you want to check out anything else? Raj, what about you and your strange therapeutic power?
Well, I'm still sort of, I think, mulling that over and trying to decide what it is actually happened.
Certainly when you touched that woman's shoulder, it was like you felt some, you felt it lessen as something was kind of transmitted, some kind of peace or whatever it was that happened.
Is your hand still glowing?
We'll say there's a faint. You can actually see it, Sam, but he can. With just a faint glow now, it's kind of lessening.
I think I'm at the moment, I'm waiting for an opportunity to try it out again. So I'm on the lookout for anyone who looks agitated.
All right, okay. You don't want to shoot lasers out your eyes or anything like that, no?
No, not right now. Okay,
so we'll say there's a stressed out kind of younger guy who's talking about something he was bidding for the auction and what the hell's going on here, and he just looks really stressed. And
well, I'm gonna just sort of walk past him and just very gently just put my hand on his shoulder and that hand on his shoulder quite casually and just say, "Is everything okay?"
He turns round to you, and as he turns round, you see all the furrows in his brow. If you imagine Gordon Ramsay's furrowed brow.
It's not the brow that gets me with Gordon Ramsay, it's the bits there.
So, the furrows in the brow.
You need to pull to get creases there.
Let's not offend everybody that watches us, because I'm sure Gordon watches us. You see the kind of furrowed brow relax, and you watch his pupils large. They get larger as they just exactly but not as exaggerated as your vision, and just calmness comes over him, and it's like you feel the rest of that light, for want of a better word, is kind of left your hand, and he's just he stands and kind of looks at you, and not really, as if he's not particularly aware of you for a minute or two, and then he's like, "Oh, hello. Hi there. Do we know each other?"
I think you've had a very stressful experience. You might need to go and sit down.
I'm waiting on my purchase, but that's a good idea. And he just does exactly what you say. And him and the lady that's with him, they go and sit down.
Wow.
So that glow is gone. It's like
I have the power to produce Valium.
Valium hands. The superhero.
So Dr. Valium hands. That'll be my new name.
Okay, so shall we say you're heading out? Shall we move on?
Yep.
Okay, so at the danger of everybody getting totally spaced out, as you walk out the door, Sam, you see the little mousy guy and the little other chap, the museum guy, outside on the sidewalk now. And Raj, as you put your foot on the top step, you feel like, have you ever been at a concert and the bass goes off and you're in front of the speaker and there's that vibration, that comes with the sound, and you feel like that kind of boom kind of vibration, a kind of thumb sound. You don't really hear a sound, but it feels like that. And as you put your foot down, you see almost like the dust and little bits of grit and stone bounce up like about 2 inches and freeze frame just where your foot's landed. And you hear that, instead of feeling that sound, you hear a thump from a way somewhere up there, and you look up the street, and everything seems really vivid, actually. But you look up the street, cars are on the road. You see a taxi. You think you might actually recognise one of your fellow taxi drivers, and he's in his yellow cab, and he's turning, speaking to somebody, like, cars aren't moving. You see people walking down the street like half motion, and you know that sounds come from a way up the other side of the city, or beyond the city. There's people mid-sentence, there's people unmoving, people strolling in the sidewalk, there's a green man signal on the crossing, and there's people halfway across the crossing swinging a bag, captured, freeze frame, and that thum noise is louder this time, and it's so loud you think your eardrums are going to burst. It's like you're being battered by it. And you have a look and you see Sam next to you, and Sam is kind of just paused, and you see he's looking down onto the pavement, the sidewalk. And just then, thick clouds come rushing down the street, like 70 miles an hour kind of speed. They come rushing down the street. This is a long street. It goes for about at least a mile. And the smoke is billowing down the street, flying down the street. And as it rushes by you, you can feel like there's heat in the smoke. And it bursts past you, and it breaks into behind you through the doorway and fills the entryway of the auction house. You feel heat in your face. You think you might have your eyebrows singed off, your beard, it's like that kind of level of heat. You hear a crashing sound, you hear rumbling and crumbling, you hear like it sounds as if masonry is falling down. You can't see anything because the whole place is like smoke now everywhere. You can't see anything of the stuff you just saw. The smoke is still coursing down the street, and it's like dust. You can taste dust, not the kind of sand of your vision, but like dust in your mouth, and it's on your face, and the smoke begins to clear in patches, and you can see flames burning. You see cars crumpled like a crushed up piece of paper against a wall. You see broken down buildings. You see broken windows. You see everything is scattered everywhere. It looks like there's something dark on the street. Maybe it's blood, debris. And you look up, and to where it's all come from. And there's this kind of swirling darkness. And Jef, if you don't mind, I've got a picture. It's actually number one. We've got to number one, picture number one today. And you see in the center of this is a kind of swirling shape. I wouldn't say a black hole, but it's some kind of void. If you could just put that on display. And you see that kind of spiral, and it's going round and round, and you feel like the world is getting sucked into that space. It's not just black. It's not like some black hole in space. It's evil, it's dangerous, it's destructive, and it's swirling. And then a roaring sound. You don't know what it is. It's not human, but it's like a creature. You hear this horrendous sound, or is it two sounds? You're not sure. Like some kind of horrible guttural, swell, screaming voice. And you blink and everything's back to normal. And everybody's moving about.
Can I take it I can remember where that void was.
Yeah. It was like hovering over the city, but off to, we'll say that's off to the west. At the very end. It wasn't actually on the street. It was like from a distance. But
well, I'm going to tag my every back alley tag.
Yep. So you're doing an investigate?
Yeah. And using my knowledge of the city as a taxi driver.
Okay.
I'm going to try and sort of just think sort of vaguely whereabouts that would be. Assuming that I've ever been to that bit of the city, which I imagine I have. I'm a taxi driver. But I will. Well, so that's +1, isn't it?
Yeah, go for it.
It's just a +1. Ooh, that's 2. That is 6. 6 and 2, 8 +1, 9. So I didn't get the 10.
Okay, no, that's all right. On a 7 to 9. So that was 1 power. You've got a question effectively, and on a 7 to 9 you can choose. I can give you a straight answer, but on a 7 to 9, I can choose your investigation exposes you to danger, which I like the sound of. I can choose the clues you get are fuzzy, incomplete, or part true, part false. Or
hey, it's over there at the old plutonium refinery.
Or whatever is asking the question can ask the one question as well. But anyway, right, I'm going to go for. Well, I might not tell you what I'm going to go for.
Yeah,
actually,
I think it's best if you don't.
I'm going to pick. You know that at that part of the city is kind of beyond residential. There are businesses and corporations, and it's almost like an outlying district where there are large companies, probably big money that wants to be, near the city, but they also want to be, outside of the city bounds. Maybe partly because of things like deliveries or business that goes on, and it's just easier. So there is a whole area on the edge of the city, which is like large corporations, some offices, some kind of multinational type companies and things like that. But that's the direction of where that would come from. There we go.
Okay, well, look, I think I know the other two well enough by now to tell them about this.
Mm-hmm. So how do you explain what you just saw?
So look,
And I'm really interested in how the guys respond.
I really don't know how to say this, but I think I've just had a vision. And in the vision, there was some kind of there was just a big explosion, and everything got destroyed, and burnt up, the whole city, and there was just some kind of swirling evil thing over there, and I find it a bit difficult to describe because I'm not particularly given to visions. I'm a taxi driver. But it didn't seem like a daydream. It was everything sort of. I didn't black out. It's strange. It's just as I was halfway towards, I just put my foot on the ground, and there was this great big noise, and everything froze, and I don't know. Maybe it's just some after effect of touching that mask or something. Maybe it's caused me to start hallucinating or something. But it came from out there, over in the sinister business park district.
Why don't you roll a convince to see if you either sound like you've completely lost your mind, or if you're actually convincing the guys here?
Okay. I'm going to employ my compelling personality tag in doing this.
Very good. That makes sense.
Okay. Failing that, I'm going to tear space and time, and I'm going to go back and try and convince them again. I got 6 and 2. That's 8 and 9 again. Another 9.
Okay. Let's go.
And this is going to be another complication, isn't it? It's just going to go off like this for the rest of the session.
Was this
digging myself
so
in?
Do you want to? You've got options. You can threaten them, seduce them, or convince them to do something.
Listen, you bloody idiots! Haven't you seen enough already to know that these things are really happening to us? I mean, what am I going to have to do? What am I going to have to do?
Turn everybody into flower pots.
Yeah. I will. If it comes to it, I bloody will.
Roger, are you sure you don't
turn you both into owls?
Oh.
That's
really embarrassingly small ones.
That's a bad memory for Vinzer, because those creatures look like owls.
Raj, I can't be an owl. I can't be a ninja and an owl. That's just
I'll
ridiculous.
turn you both into the same hippo. And
Dibs
who's
on the front.
Be the front or the back?
Dibs on the front.
Mess with me, I turn you into the back of a hippo.
Well, I'm concerned, Raj, that you're feeling okay.
I'm not feeling okay. I've just had a vision. I'm as confused by it as you are.
Sam, this is the most aggressive I've ever seen him. He's clearly not feeling okay.
But it seemed real. It didn't seem like a daydream or a dream or my imagination. It seemed like something really happening. I could feel the heat of the blast singeing my beard, and I could taste the dust in my mouth, and I could feel the evil of that thing, and it just. I've got a very bad feeling about this.
You can still taste the dust in your mouth. That taste.
You know what'll get that taste
I
out of
think
your
something
mouth?
very bad is going to happen.
What did you say, Sam?
You know what would help get that taste out of your mouth? Cranberry juice.
Well, cranberry juice always helps.
Where was my bar in location of this city destruction?
There. No, it's not that direction. So
Okay.
your bar might be all right. Who knows? Not that you really make much money out of your bar, but
As long as the bar stands.
Wow. I'm going to also ask you, so I'll take this time. Where did you go?
I don't know. It was in the desert. It was a long, long time ago. And I was wearing a mask, and people were chanting, and dogs were shaking their heads. And
Great bird-like beast flapping its wings.
I think they were worshipping me. Or I was healing them or helping them or something.
Wearing the same mask that we just saw?
Same mask, and I think I might have been wearing robes, or maybe they were wearing robes. But I think they were. You remember those statues in the auction house? I think the statues were I think they were statues of the people back then, wherever that was.
It does sound like you're going off your nut, I've got to say.
I'm sorry. I'm feeling very overwhelmed. A lot has happened to me in a very short period. I know I'm not making sense, but
Just then, Raj, you feel a tap on your shoulder. Oh, is that you, Raj? Yes, it is. Of course it is. You've got that turban on. How are you doing, my friend? This has been a crazy day today, all this pandemonium, and I think somebody's hurt in there, the auctioneer. He got hurt.
Yes.
It's Charles Zander, your guy that took the taxi and all that.
Oh, right. Yes, I think there was some sort of attack or something, or maybe it was, I don't know whether it was a natural thing, like a gas main or something, but something just suddenly, everything just got smashed up and we all ran outside. I don't know. No one's actually said what happened yet.
I see, you're looking a bit strange. Are you okay?
I'm just a bit shell shocked. I think it's quite a lot to take in.
Well, myself and Greg are going down to the new club tonight. If you want to join us, we're going to relax. It's been a good day. I've actually got a new client today as well, and despite all the craziness that's went on. So if you want to join us, we're going down. It's called the Ambrose. It's a new one. I think it's jazz night tonight if you want to come and join us.
Ambrose, yes.
Yeah. You've maybe seen it, the neon, it's all neon and that outside. We're going down there anyway tonight. So, well, that's only an hour or two away. So if you want to join us, feel free.
Yeah, well, I have some business I need to take care of, but yes, I'll try and make it down.
And your friends, you guys as well, come and join us if you want. You guys look like you need to relax or something. So
we certainly do after that.
This place is supposed to be the bee's knees.
Are all your auctions this exciting?
They're always exciting. I love them, but they're not usually as chaotic as this, But I think they seem to have got things sorted now. The folks are starting to get organised the delivery of their items, and I was pleased to see that City Museum got the last pieces there. That they were stunning.
Yes, they're very very special, aren't they?
Mm-hmm. Raj has a faraway look in his eye, and he's like, "Yeah, okay then." So
1,000 yards stay.
We'll be down there in about an hour or two. I think you might need to queue up to get in though, because it's this is like the hot spot just now. As I say, you'll know that because you're a taxi man anyway.
Oh yes.
I've got your number, so if we need you, if you don't show up, I'll maybe give you a call later.
Yes, please do. Yes, feel free to.
Nice to see you again.
And you, take care.
Raj, after all that stuff that you just said, and holding on a peaceful conversation like this, I'm still a little concerned. Are you sure that a club is the best place for you to go tonight?
Oh, I don't know if I'm necessarily going to go there, but I was, it It doesn't hurt to be convivial.
I just mean like
I was more interested in just getting him to go away, to be honest.
I'm just checking, man, because that's I mean, that whole thing just before we were interrupted by those guys, it's pretty intense.
Yes, it certainly was. I don't know what to make of it, but I do get this sensation that I think something's going to happen, something bad, and I think we need to stop it.
That dog agrees.
Yeah, whose dog is that out there? Excuse me, could you shut your dog up? We're trying to stop the apocalypse here.
Like a dog just wandered by, peed on the fire hydrant, and then barked at us like mid-conversation just to agree. The end times are coming, and that dog knows it. Man.
Well, let's go back to the bar. Let's regroup, and then we can decide if we're going to head up and meet Charles.
Yes, it would help to be somewhere where we can sit down and try and calm down a bit.
As you head out of the building, Vinzer, you see Hiroaki and his two guys. One of the young guys opens the door for him and he goes into the back of a black sedan or something like that, and he kind of sits in, and the other guy goes on the other side, and they clearly are looking after him well, these two young guys, and he gives you a wee nod and kind of a wee kind of like see you at some point kind of look, and off they drive. And I think with that, we'll say that we fade out of the scene. And it's probably time to stop, is it? How are we doing? Are we okay?
We're just shy of 10 o'clock.
Okay, so we can just fast forward if you want to for the next few minutes. We'll say it's an hour or two later. It's dark now. It's getting dark because they were originally, although it was delayed maybe because of the chaos, they were also serving meals at the auction house, and so now they're kind of managed to get themselves sorted. As you're leaving, they're beginning to announce that the restaurant will be open shortly, and let's just say it's about 6:30 or something like that, approaching 7. So you can head on, get your cab, do whatever. Did you drive over? I can't remember.
I think Raj brought us.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember I was trying to make some underworld connections when in the back seat when he was driving us, because I was looking up information on the mob boss and everything. Oh my god, I always forget his name. It starts with an A, right?
Anatoly.
Anatoly. Thank you.
My name is Anatoly. How can I help you?
Yeah, exactly. So let's just cut to the scene. We'll say that you kind of faffed about, or maybe you went to a pre-club drink, or, old man's bar first. You realise, obviously Sam will realise that, and maybe you too, especially Raj, that the drinks are probably going to be twice the price at this place if it's a new classy bar. Maybe a lot of cocktails and things like that in this venue. Could you stick up picture 2 for me, please, Jef, and we'll just show the scene of the venue itself. It's number 2. There we go. So that's a kind of cool looking place. You see outside the bar, that's just one of the girls or people going to the bar there. But you see there's a queue forming. There's maybe about 25, 30 people waiting already. and you can hear the buzz and hubbub of voices. Yeah, that's fine, no problem. And it's called the Ambrosia, and you quickly find out from some of the chat that's going on, it is the hippest place in town right now. People are loving it. It's like a show bar. They've got something different on every night of the week, and tonight is jazz night. There's all ages here, including respectable dames and their suited husbands, younger dames and their sugar daddies, and young singles and dating couples. Some of them with more grungy gear. So you've got really classily dressed people, and you've got grungy gear, but it's expensive designer grungy gear.
It's all ages. Does that mean we've got to put X's on our hands? Or is it not that kind of gig?
I don't know.
Should I be wearing a Champion hoodie and some big shorts?
No. There's we'll say this, style-wise, there's all sorts, but there's a lot of money, you know.
Oh, right. Okay, so it's quite a market.
Yeah.
It's quite a market diet.
Would you say, Sam?
Are they going to let us in here?
Well, did you not dress up a bit for the auction?
I did. Yeah, but I wasn't expecting this. Like, are we supposed to be like young and hip and all that? I mean,
no, there's quite a lot of different ages. You notice a sign outside, just a small, discreet kind of sign, casino upstairs, members only. So they've got different things going on here. It's very cool vibe, and no doubt very expensive drinks, as I said. So expect to see a few cocktails get knocked back. And the buzz is increasing, and about 7:30, the doors open, and there's a couple of cheers here and there from the younger ones, and they all start to pile in, and you kind of get sucked in to the neon entrance. There's a kind of fusion of styles, I think, in here. You've got the pillars, you've got velvet curtains, and you've got some neon glory as well, you know. So it seems to be appealing to some different kinds of tastes. You see a stair going up with a red carpet, which is also the casino, but there's guys standing there, and it's members only. If you want to go, you can try. And I've got another picture to show you the inside, if you don't mind sticking number 3 up, just to give you the vibe of the venue a little bit. There we go. So just keep that up for a minute. As you walk in, your eyes adjust to the room. A long plush bar extends to the left. The centre stage and surrounding tables are now quickly getting filled up with numerous lavish booths to the right, mostly reserved. There's short spiral staircases either side as you walk in. So to the right and the left at the rear of the building, there's little spiral staircases that take you up to a small balcony if you want to go there. And there's also more booths at the rear of the kind of auditorium or the space, which are public booths. So there's still 1 or 2 free if you want to grab a booth. There's a lot of kind of excited first-time guests at the Ambrose tonight. So there's 1 or 2 of those booths left, or you can go up on the balcony if you want. And because it looks like the show is about to commence. And with that, the curtains, not in the show bar, but the curtains will close on this story, and we'll find out what it's like for the 3 of you strange characters to have a night out next time.
Smooth.